Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Look on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Look on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else she feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome again. Welcome back to Shay's Tube Afternoon Talk Time with me, of course. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you thumbs up this video. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure to share and leave a comment. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and do that copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Y'all, that copyright disclaimer is in my description area. It will be in my comment area, and part of it is scrolling across that screen right there. All right, welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watches this in the replay. Y'all, I'm coming back with you guys to do a afternoon talk time because they did reach a partial verdict in Diddy's trial, and we are waiting for that to come out live. And I wanted to be here. Hopefully I can be here when they give it, because I'm pretty sure it's like 5 o'clock, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5:06 on the East Coast. So they should be coming out with that verdict pretty soon. So while we're waiting on it, let me just tell you guys what transpired right here. They say, yes, a partial verdict has been reached in Diddy's trial. The jury has delivered a verdict on all counts except the one, which is racketeering conspiracy charge. And that's according to the New York Times. And those for the racketeering conspiracy charge, they are still in deliberations regarding that. So I don't know if they're going to wait till the deliberation is over for that one to give us all of the verdicts, or if they're going to give us the partial one and then go back. I can look it up to see, All right, and I will in a minute. Okay, so they did say the jury started deliberating on Monday. After over 5 hours, they reached a partial verdict. Now they are focusing on the racketeering conspiracy charge, which carries a potential life sentence if Combs is found guilty. Now, those other charges, which include ex trafficking by force and transportation to engage in the P word, um, I think those, I can't remember what I said yesterday, but I think one is a minimum of 10 or 15 years, and the other one is minimum of 15. We can look that up too, okay? So let's go ahead and check that real quick. So the judge did tell them to keep on deliberating. Okay, so they may wait until they are finished deliberating on that in order to give you everything. Let's see. So they've been deliberating for more than 12 hours, saying that it was a deadlock on a charge of racketeering conspiracy. So at about 4:05 on the East Coast, the jury sent a note to the judge saying it had reached a verdict on all 4 of the 5 counts against Mr. Combs. 2 counts each of ex trafficking and transportation to engage in the P word, but they were unable to come to a decision on the racketeering charges. So the note from the panel said there were jurors with unpersuadable opinions on both sides. Oh, wow. So the racketeering conspiracy charge accuses Mr. Combs of running a criminal enterprise with his employees that was responsible for misdeeds over 2 decades. Now, before the judge announced the partial verdict out to the public, 8 of Mr. Combs' lawyers were huddled. They were huddled around him for many minutes, all of them looking grim. So with that right there, the grim look, guys, I hate to say it, it just sounds like they probably found him guilty on all those other charges because they were looking grim. They were not looking, happy. Now, Mr. Combs appears sober or somber, his head bowed and his hands folded in his lap. His lawyers passed the note around closely, scrutinizing it. So just that body language right there, I hate to say it, just that body language right there, it almost indicates that they found him guilty on those accounts, except the racketeering conspiracy charge, because they are still deliberating. Now, I could be wrong. They may be looking grim because maybe they found him guilty on something and not guilty on something else. Who knows? Anyway, as we know, Sean Combs is 55. He was arrested in September of 2024 and charged with ex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in the P word. He faces a sentence that could extend to life in prison if he is convicted of the most serious charge, which is that racketeering conspiracy, if I'm not mistaken. Now, we know he has pleaded not guilty, and his lawyers have denied that any of his actual arrangements with these women in the trial were non-consensual. So in order to convict Mr. Combs on the racketeering charge, jurors need to find that he knowingly joined an unlawful conspiracy and that Mr. Combs agreed that he or a co-conspirator would commit at least 2 criminal acts to further the enterprise. Now, prosecutors have said that a loyal inner circle of Mr. Combs' employees carried out various crimes over more than a decade, including drug distribution, kidnapping, arson, robbery, ex trafficking, interstate transportation for the P word, and forced labor. Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor, suggested in Allen charge special instructions given to a hung jury, urging it to come to a verdict. Mark Agnafilo, the lead defense lawyer, said the defense did not want a partial verdict and asked the judge to ask the jury to keep deliberating since it had only been considering the case for a day and change. Okay, so I don't know. They may even deliberate until tomorrow. All right. it could be like that. Okay, I do not know for sure. I said I was going to look up his charges and see how much time he could get. Let's look that up real quick while we see if we can wait around, because I can only be on here for about 40 minutes or so. All right, and then I'll come back and do a regular live tonight, and maybe if they don't have it before I get through with this live, they'll have it then, maybe. Sean's, let's do Diddy. Spelling his name wrong. Hold on, y'all. I said it yesterday how much he can get, but I don't remember all that stuff. Okay, so let's see how much time he can give. So they claim that they say something different every day, but of course, with the most serious charge, which is, I believe, the trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, he can get. Hold on, let me make sure. No. Okay, so with the trafficking charge, he can get a mandatory minimum of 15 years. That's still a long time. Now, with the racketeering conspiracy, which carries the potential life sentence and transportation to engage in the P word with a maximum of 10 years. So I was right the other day when I said 10 to 15. So the other one could be a potential life sentence, the racketeering, just like I just said. And the trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion can get a minimum at least 15 years just to start with. And then the other one, transportation to engage in the P word, he can get a maximum of 10 years. So say if he gets convicted on all those, the life imprisonment, for racketeering conspiracy, the one he can get life. But say if he's found not guilty for that one, then he can get a mandatory 15 if he's found guilty for the trafficking. So 15, and then the 10 years if he's found guilty for the transportation to engage in the P word. So that's 15, 20, 25, if that's the way they do it. So either way, he's just messed up. So if he's convicted, right? If he's convicted, I'm still going to go back to why did he accept the plea deal? Because some people said it was 15 years for everything. Because 15 years, if he would have went 15 years, 55, 65, he still would be old, 55, 65, 70. But if he's found guilty on that racketeering conspiracy, that's life. And if he's found guilty on the other two, that's like 15, a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of 10 years in the P word, transportation to engage in the P word. So that could be anywhere from 15 to 25 years. He's just screwed, man. The best he can do, I don't know, guys. And we know good and well they don't have a hung jury. We know that. Okay. And then the way these people are looking, the lawyers looking grim. What does grim mean? See, I knew it. So the judge is making the jury come back Thursday. So what they're doing, they are going to deliberate until Thursday on the racketeering conspiracy charge. And then by Thursday, they will have all of the verdict. They already got the other verdicts, okay? But they're not going to give it out. Just like I said, the judge may wait until they figure out, everything, with the racketeering conspiracy, because it's a complicated charge. You know what I'm saying? They got to look at everything. They got to really think about that carefully. But I am wondering, but I'm thinking they found him guilty just because they said that Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers were gathering around him and they were looking grim. Okay, just from reading that. But they could be looking grim because it's an impartial verdict. So I don't know. Hold on for a minute. Let me look up what does impartial mean. Okay, let's look that up real quick. Okay, because we got, like I said, I won't be on this live long. Hold on, let me see. What does an impartial verdict mean? So that's it. So an impartial verdict means a decision made by a judge or jury that is fair and unbiased. Okay, based solely on the evidence presented in court without any personal opinions, prejudice, or outside influences affecting the judgment. It ensures that all parties in a legal proceeding are treated equally and that the outcome is not determined by factors other than the facts of the case according to legal definitions. Okay? So they definitely, just like Jermaine said yesterday, just like he did with me when he put up that Mann Act, he was basically telling me take all personal feelings out and look at what the law says. And when I looked at what the law says, that's when I changed my verdict. Okay? So I'm still thinking that with the lawyers looking grim, that they probably pretty much know he's guilty. So he's probably facing, prison time for life. I'm just saying. I don't know. He may not be, you guys, but I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? It just sounds like that's what's going on. So let's see what grim means, okay? Because I just know what it means already. But I got to tell y'all and look it up, just like I did the other thing that I just looked at. Yeah, see? Worrying, okay? So they're worried, okay? So with that being said, I'm just thinking that, they probably voted guilty. I don't know for sure. It may be not guilty and guilty. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Yeah, Allen charge. Let's see what an Allen charge is. What is an Allen charge? Not Allen. So let me just tell y'all. So in the 1986 U.S. Supreme Court case, Allen versus the United States, established the legality of jury instructions known as Allen charges that encourage deadlocked jurors to reach a verdict. Okay, and then we're gonna look up deadlock too. Okay, so the case involved Alexander Allen, who was a black teenager, or who was a black teenager, who was tried and sentenced to DEATH for the murder of a white teenager in 1892. After deliberation, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Allen appealed, arguing improper jury instructions. So that's where they got the Allen charge, is to encourage deadlocked jurors to reach a verdict. Okay, point blank. So they give supplemental jury instruction used in a court when a jury is deadlocked and unable to reach a unanimous verdict. So deadlock, they were not able to reach a verdict that everybody agreed on. So therefore it was deadlocked. And so that's when they use the Allen charge, because it encourages the jurors to re-examine their opinions and potentially come to an agreement. But it can be controversial due to concerns about coercion. Okay? So they basically telling the jurors to reconsider their views, discuss the case further, and try to reach a decision that everybody basically agree on without violating their conscience. They also call it dynamite charge, or SHOTGUN charge, due to its potential to blast a verdict out of a deadlocked jury. Now, see, why is it so controversial? Is because the Allen charges can be coercive. It can also pressure jurors. So that's the first thing I thought about, especially those in the minority. And it can pressure them to abandon their views and agree with the majority. I don't think they should use it. But anyway, some argue that it can lead to a rushed or unfair verdict, as jurors might feel pressured to compromise rather than to deliberate thoroughly. Now, because of these concerns, some states have stopped the use of Allen charges in their courts, while others allow them with specific limitations or modifications. All right. So I don't think that's a fair thing to do, because you can basically subconsciously pressure and pressure these people to go ahead and agree with the other jurors, even though they may not really feel it. Okay. So yeah, I don't think they should use it. I don't know. I think they are using it, but I don't think they should be using it. So let's see what deadlock means. I already know what it means, but I'm gonna tell y'all according to the definition. So basically, it's just a situation, typically one involving opposing parties in which no progress can be made. Um, Basically, they can't come to, agreement. So everything is stopped. All right. No decision can be made. That's in my own words now. That's what deadlock is. Like if your bank account is deadlocked because you wrote a check right, and it just say it's deadlocked. They can't make a decision if they want to pay it or not. And so they deadlock on it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, now you understand, right? I'm so crazy. Or if you're dating someone, right, and they're dating, say they're dating, they trying to figure out if they should date you on a serious tip or not. So they deadlock everything. They don't tell you what kind of relationship you guys have. So they deadlock, right? Because they're still trying to figure out if they want a serious relationship with you or not, non-serious relationship. You may want a serious one, but they may not. So they're still just stopping. You know what I'm saying? They're just putting everything on halt because they don't want what you want until they figure out, maybe y'all can come together and talk about it. Then everything changes and you guys both agree on the same thing. Something like that. All right. So they are using the Allen law, I think, with Sean Diddy Combs cases. I think I just said that. Let's see. Are they using the Allen charge with Sean Diddy Combs case? Yes. Okay. The prosecution is planning to use the Allen charge to encourage the jury to continue deliberating and avoid a hung jury on the racketeering charge. All right. So yeah, that's what they're using. And so they will be back on Thursday with their answer. So in this chat, Jermaine, tell me, what do you think? Do you think that he's found guilty on all charges, including the racketeering and conspiracy? What do you think? And in the comment section, if you guys watch this in the replay or whatever, if you're in the bushes watching, let me know in the comment sections. Do you think he's guilty on all accounts, including the conspiracy, racketeering? Let me know if y'all think that. So in Sean Diddy Combs' case, they said both attorneys have agreed to submit proposed instructions for the Allen charge to the judge. The judge will then decide on the specific wording of the instructions to be given to the jury. So it's such to say, if this jury cannot reach they cannot reach the same verdict, okay, then this could result in a hung jury, meaning the trial would end without a verdict on the specific count. And then the prosecution would then have the option to retry the case or drop the charges. So I think this right here, on the racketeering conspiracy charge, I think that they may get a hung jury on that one, okay? Because I don't think they can really decide if he was operating a criminal enterprise on purpose, okay? I don't know if that's been proven for sure. Yes, you got receipts that he was paying for stuff from his company and things like that, but that doesn't mean that he was running a criminal enterprise, okay? Yes, he had people helping him, with setting up hotels and things like that, getting baby oil, DRUGS and things like that, but that doesn't still mean that he was running in the enterprise, okay? So that may be a hung one if they cannot reach a decision, and that one juror may be having a problem with that. He probably had a problem with a lot of stuff. That's what it sounds like to me. But on the other two, I'm thinking, what is the other one? Ex trafficking. That right there is another tricky one right there. I mean, I think they may have voted guilty, but I'm not sure. Because on the racketeering charge, let's see here. No, on this ex trafficking charge, I think that's what I was talking about. Ex trafficking, again, you don't have to be moved from state to state. It can just be from one area to another area for the purpose of engaging in actual um, you know, relations with a person for pay. So, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, you that is there. You know what I'm saying? It's there. You know, so they may have said guilty to that. And then what's the other one? Ex trafficking, then the racketeering, right? Okay, you got. Hold on, let me go look at this charges again. Damn. Okay, don't remember. Sean Diddy Combs charges. So he got five. Wait a minute, hold on. 5 counts. He got 1 count of racketeering conspiracy. Okay. Okay. Then you got 2 counts of ex trafficking. Okay. Let's deal with that one. Okay. We just talked about the ex trafficking. Okay. With Jane Doe and Cassie. All right. Because I was thinking about something else at first. So I don't know for sure with that. Because did he really ex traffic Jane Doe and Cassie? I don't know about that one for sure. For me, what would you say to that, Jermaine? Right, you said what new information is going to sway the jury's opinions that they didn't already present. Count 1, that's the which one is that? That is the racketeering, right? If I'm not mistaken. So you say you think counts 2 to 5 are guilty. So you got 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, and I think that's the one that carries the stiffest penalty, if I'm not mistaken. He got 2 counts of ex trafficking and transportation to engage in the P word. Okay, so when he hired those call people, those escorts, you know, that's a problem right there, okay? Because he did hire them, and he did bring them out to engage in extra entanglements for pay. So if they are looking at it like I am with what it says, the definition of it, then I would just have to say that they did vote guilty on that, on the ex trafficking and transportation to engage in the P word. But because you got 2 counts of that, the 2 is the girl Jane and Cassie, the lady, I mean, and then you got who are they talking about when they say transportation to engage in the P word? Okay, are they talking about Cassie and Jane, or are they talking about the male escorts? Because we know he did that, but he was in a relationship with Jane and Cassie, so you can't say he transported them just to engage in the P word, because, you know, that wouldn't be 100% true. Okay, he just started incorporating the freak offs because he was a freakazoid. All right. So let's see. So you got 2 counts each of ex trafficking and transportation to engage. So that's Cassie and Jane. Okay, ex trafficking for Cassie and Jane, and then transportation to engage in the P word for Cassie and Jane. And this is a hard one right here. I mean, Jermaine said guilty, but I said guilty, but then I take it back and then I change my mind because I don't know. This is a hard one. 2 counts each of ex trafficking in transportation to engage in the P word. But did he really think that's what he was doing? But I guess we just have to look at the legal definition of ex trafficking, which I already remember and all that. So we go by just the definition. Again, I hate to say it, is guilty. You know, I mean, because we have to take the personal things out of it, just like, you know, they say, just like Jermaine said, because I keep on to like personally not thought. No. We have to go to what the law says. If you transport anybody for the purpose of X and you're paying them, that could be considered ex trafficking. So that would say that he's guilty, right? And then you got, so that's 2, that's 4 charges, right? So those are all 4 guilty. And then the last one is the racketeering conspiracy. So let's see again. Right, according to the law, that's all I'm looking at is the law. I mean, according to my personal opinions, I say no, he's not guilty of ex trafficking and transportation to engage in the P word. But they're not going on personal opinions. That's what I was going on at first. But you can't in the court of law. So in the court of law, he would be considered, for me, guilty. Jermaine said guilty. Okay, but on that racketeering conspiracy, let's define that again. What is racketeering conspiracy? So that is an agreement between two or more people to participate in a criminal enterprise through a pattern of illegal activities. Okay. So it must show existence of a criminal enterprise, a pattern of racketeering activities, and an agreement to participate in the enterprise affairs. Okay. So the key elements. Okay. Criminal enterprise. Now this refers to a group of people or entities that engage in a pattern of criminal activities. Okay. So let's think about this real carefully. Did Sean Diddy Combs have a group of people or entities that engage in a pattern of criminal activity? Let's keep it real. All right, let's look at the law only. No personal feelings. So I hate to say it, I would have to say yes. Because the reason why I say yes is because he solicited his, I think I'm using the right word, his employees to help him go get male escorts for the purpose of having freak-offs with his girlfriends. Okay. So he did it more than one time. He did it a bunch of times. That's a pattern. And the act itself is criminal. So that's a pattern of criminal activities. And he had people help him with that, which is proven through text messages and things like that. That's the proof. And then you got the pattern of racketeering activities. This involves committing or conspiring to commit at least two specified criminal acts within a 10-year period. And I have to say, wait a minute, these acts can include a wide range of offenses such as trafficking, money laundering, bribery, extortion, and mail fraud. So I would have to say yes, again, because he did the extortion, at least we believe he did. Okay. We're going to look up extortion again to make sure we're right. All right. But I believe he engaged in extortion. So again, guilty. Agreement. Okay. The core of the conspiracy is an agreement with explicit or implicit between two or more people to participate in the criminal enterprise activities. And of course he had the agreement because he talked about this stuff to his employees and they agreed to do it for whatever reason they agreed to, whether he paid them money. Now, if he used coercion, then of course that's definitely, a violation. And that's why that's why we say guilty on some other charges. Okay. It's just not looking good for him. I hate to say it, because when you use the law dictionary and you look up what these terms mean, you see he's guilty of all these things. Okay. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking he is. Let's see what extortion is. Define extortion in law.
Here's the definition of extortion: the practice of obtaining something, especially money, through force or threats.
Okay, so this extortion, let me think. Okay, he did do a threat to Cassie's mom. Now, I don't know what evidence they might have. If they have true evidence, then that would show that he threatened Cassie's mom, told her he would release Cassie's videos unless her mom gave him 10 grand. She went and took a mortgage payment out, a loan out, and then she gave him the 10 grand, which he paid back to her in a couple of days. But that could be looked at as extortion. All right. So that's one, extortion. All right. Now let me see if they mentioned anything else. Let me think. Did they Jermaine? Because we know the mom. Who else? Yeah, he paid Cassie. We already just talked about that. What else? And I don't know why he paid that back for Bad Boys. He should have paid that back from his own account. Oh yeah, they got the receipts, right? So that we said that's the evidence right there. But what about another case of extortion? I think you only need one. I think they said two, but we know he did that extortion, or we think he did anyway. Okay. What else besides that? I can't think right now. Let me go ahead and define bribery. Define bribery.
Here's the definition of bribery: the giving or offering of a bribe.
So he used the bribe, maybe, okay, allegedly when he gave the hotel people money to get all the videos and conceal what was going on and everything else. Okay, that could be looked at as a bribery if that's what they claim, and they show evidence that he did that. That's why people got to watch it when they be doing stuff like that. So when I look at all these different definitions of all these charges, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. I don't see anything other than guilty, 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 guilty. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. And the racketeer conspiracy may come back as a hung jury, because if one person can't agree, then there it is. But still, guilty, guilty, guilty on the other 3 or 4 counts, it still won't be looking good, because a minimum of, what did they say? A minimum of 10 years or 15 years. That's a long time, especially if you are already 50 and over. Okay. You know, the other one is a minimum of 10. One is a minimum of 10 or 15, and the other one you can only get a maximum of 10 or 15 years. I forgot what they said. So that's still, you know, a lot of time, especially if you are 50 and over, because even if you get 20 years, you're 70 years old. You're 55, 75. That's just a lot. And that's why, you know, people have to, you know, really think about stuff before they do it. You know what I'm saying? Think about everything, you know, in depth before they engage in these activities. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. He made, you know what, honestly, Sean Diddy Combs made a huge mistake, you guys, when he decided to engage in these freak-offs in the manner that he did. If he would engage in these freak-offs and everything was 100% legitly consensual, and he did not include drugs in it, you know, forced coercion and all this other weird shit, he wouldn't even be on trial right now. You know, you just can't do all these things. But I really feel like he thought that he could not be touched. You know, everybody liked him, at least they appeared to like him, and he just thought that he could get away with certain things. Now, is he really guilty of all these things? You know, I don't know if he's guilty of everything that people are saying, like I said before, because I do still believe some people lied and things like that. But for the most part, when you look at all these receipts, you look at these transactions, him paying things from his bank accounts. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, damn, what else can you say? And all his so-called friends who was at these damn all-white parties, most of these people are nowhere to be found, which is a damn shame. Now, while the jury deliberates, he has another new civil suit. And let me see if that's a new one or if it's the same one that we read the other day. So they got another one on the 30th, which was yesterday. And they claimed that in 2021, a man in his 20s at that time alleges in a suit that he met a security guard for one of Combs' parties while stopped at a gas station in LA. The guard invited him to a party that evening where he says he drank a glass of champagne when he got there, and he later suspected it was, you know, he was drugged. Okay, so this may be the same lawsuit that I told you guys about the other day. On what? So that may be the same one. I'm not sure. He still got lawsuits, man. So you know everybody, like I always say, when a lot of people say the same thing, in 64 civil suits, everybody cannot be lying. Okay? Because everybody cannot be lying. All right? Some people could be lying, but not everybody. So let's read what this is. This may be a different one right here, though. It says that in the suit, lawyers for the man also claim that during the party, while he searched for a place to lie down, he passed out and was awoken by someone unbuttoning his pants. So this is the same man. He said when he asked what was going on, a voice, which the lawsuit claims belonged to Combs, responded, "You are about to get that Diddy love." When the man protested, saying he had a wife and children, Combs allegedly told him he was going to receive a great massage before he felt himself being undressed, covered in some form of liquid, and penetrated. You know what? Per the suit from the back. When the man protests, Combs allegedly recited his full name, address, date of birth, and driver's license number back to him, threatening him. When later the man attempted to confront Combs about the alleged abuse, he claims that security guards stopped and threatened him, presenting him with a non-disclosure agreement, which he signed but did not date. So anyway, the lawyers for the man contended that he has lived with the shame and, embarrassment and the emotional and mental pain of that night ever since. And he's requesting both damages in a jury trial. Wow. On Tuesday, July the 1st, jurors entered their second. Okay, we already know that. All right. Damn. So that's a new lawsuit that I already told them that we talked about that. Thank you, Jermaine. We already discussed this last week. And, we said at the time, this dude is going through a whole nother lawsuit while he's going through, while they are trying to figure out if he's guilty or not guilty. It's not a good look. It's not. But I still want to know what happened to all the other people that was doing this stuff with him besides the ones we know about. Somebody said, I hope Diddy's money does not get him free. He's a criminal. Another commenter said, I do. It's rotten what they doing to him, throwing him under the bus. Free Diddy, free Mother Teresa. Somebody said, I don't believe this. It's money. They all want money. If Diddy has given Cassie a lot of money, this would never taken place. Her husband put her up to getting money. People are broke and greedy for money. Well, she got 20 million from him and 10 million from the hotel. I mean, the thing about if Cassie lied about anything, she will be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about that. Because again, we still can't erase the fact that Diddy is a grown-ass man, okay? And he chose to do certain things that he shouldn't have been doing, period. He wouldn't even be in this situation if he just would have did it the right way. You want to be a freakazoid, but don't coerce or force or make people do things, okay? And don't, be doing stuff, which can make you look like you are running a criminal enterprise, even if you're not. Somebody said this is getting ridiculous. Seems like people are feeling he's going to go home and they are still coming out of the woodwork. Somebody said Diddy's coming home. Let us pray for him. Free Mother Teresa. Somebody said, I hope he does go home. Yeah, he's a swinger, but it'll be a lot of people in jail if they put swingers in prison. Yes, he may have did a few things that he wasn't supposed to, but they got approved so far. But they got to prove it so far. I guess he means they have to prove it. So far, I'm not seeing it. But honestly, it doesn't matter what you see. Okay, I keep saying that. It's matter what they see. Somebody said, right, the president should be in jail too. But y'all keep on forgetting one thing. Even if they do say guilty, Trump may pardon him because they were friends. They probably still are. Somebody said they would never be done with you, Diddy. Another commenter said, I hope he gets treated fairly. Everybody has seemed to convict this man on non-proven things. The jury has given 2 notes to the biased judge. That's clear what they aren't sure about. Guilt. Right. It's very clear about that. And somebody said the judge definitely is biased. Somebody said, why didn't they come out before now? Makes me feel many of these people just want a payday. Okay, another commenter said Tony Busby is a crook and he just so happened to do his lawsuit during deliberations from the jury for a maximum impact, hoping that he's found guilty and trying to get low-hanging fruit. You can't trust anything with his name on it. He makes a living out of lawsuits from black men of power. So they said verdict is back on 4 of the 5 charges, and we just went that up. Somebody said lock him up and throw away the key. Somebody said how many more? Somebody said I am so sick of all the opportunistic I know I just said that crazy. Opportunists, people trying to jump on the so-called money train. There is a statute of limitation in place for a reason. Gold digging maggots. Somebody said if he's guilty, let him rot in solitary confinement. They can't do that. And he can have his own freak off party. His assets should be auctioned off and divided up amongst the many victims. They're not going to do that. All right? Because first of all, you have to make sure these victims are actually just that. And he already paid off Cassie and Jane Doe. They already paid. Cassie got 20 million from him. How much more does she need? And she got 10 million from the hotel. Jane Doe mortgage payment and whatever else he was giving her per month, 10,000. And I wonder if he gets guilty, is he still going to be paying her mortgage? Because I would have it stopped. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Somebody said, I hope you go free. Somebody said this is a straight up money grab. Somebody said, I say they should send him up for life for both unaliving of Biggie and Tupac. And both of their unaliving, there's no peace. They were at the beginning of their life. Nobody has the right to take anybody's life for any reason at all. And that's what, see, they can't even see. This is crazy. They can't even find any evidence to support that he had anything to do with Tupac's unaliving. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Because if they could have found any evidence, this is what he should be on trial for real. But clearly, they haven't found enough to tie him into that. And maybe Biggie's too. You just never know with this dude. You never know. Somebody said, you said, Jermaine, he talked about that one. Diddy needs to slow his roll if he gets out of this. For real, if he gets out. Because like I said, I don't know for sure what the jury verdict is. It could be not guilty, y'all. But no, it could be not guilty, not guilty. It could be guilty. It could be not guilty, not guilty. We just don't know. Okay, we just don't know until Thursday. And I wish they would have said tomorrow. But, Thursday it is. Somebody said the story has more holes than Swiss cheese. Somebody said, I hope none of these things happen to anyone or your family members. When it does, your voices will be full of rage instead of accusations built on public opinion. And I agree with that because a lot of people are saying stuff based on what they think, especially in regard to all these other females and things like that when they weren't even called up on the stand and they didn't even say a damn word about these other people at all. Nothing. Okay? They had Jane Doe and Cassie up there and decided not to call any other witnesses. Okay? Somebody said at this point, it's he say, she say, with no proof. All these grown and willing people attending his parties knew what they were doing and probably won't get a dime if it's no proof. And then somebody else said, I can't believe someone will wait that long to say something that's bullcrap. Somebody said, stop believing all these people about this man. And the judge and jury should throw all of this out because it seems like everyone there trying to bring this man down and they are older enough to know better if they were raised right. Because you don't let no man or woman misuse your body and don't be afraid. I would rather pass on to fight for myself than to wait all these years to come forward to tell it to a judge and know that his duty is to let these people know after so many years it didn't happen unless you have solid proof, and that's called solid evidence. I don't agree with him handling a woman like he did Cassie, but all these Diddy parties, people, you gave yourself because you went more than one time and you had to know what was going on. Okay. Somebody said these scammers heard the details of the case. Now watch how they come out the woodwork claiming he used baby oil on them or wanted them to engage in sex with a female while he watched, or he gave them pink ketamine, etc. Just watch. Somebody said the industry file rap sheet is long anyway. Another commenter said, we believe anything. They know they don't have him here. Now we have to add another charge while he's still incarcerated. Okay. All right. So it is what it is, you guys. We're going to be waiting to Thursday to see what's going on with him, and go from there. Let me make sure something real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. I told y'all we wouldn't be on here long. Let's see if any other thing on here. I'll tell y'all this tonight about 50 Cent, what they accused saying the lady did. Miss his Diddy's, I'm not Diddy's, 50 Cent's baby mom, what he said. What she said 50 Cent did to get dirt on. She said that 50 Cent, mother of 50 Cent's son alleges he hired Missa to get dirt on Diddy. So we're going to look at that later on, okay? Let's see what they're saying. Let's see any other news, and then we are getting ready to get out of here. I knew the judge was going to do that. I knew it. Let's see. So according to Bet US, Combs is favored to be sentenced to 11 to 15 years in prison, with those odds at negative 125. The next best odds sit at positive 250 for an outcome of no time served, which could factor in a number of results. If the trial included a hung jury or was declared a mistrial, it would cause that result to pay out. So they are favoring him to be sentenced to 11 to 15 years in prison at negative 125. More than 20 years currently pays plus 800. And they're doing a whole bet on this dude, and they are saying that he's going to get, prison time. Damn, that's crazy. But he can always do an appeal too, which he probably will. Right, we're all assuming they have found him guilty on 2 to 5, and very well could be not guilty. It could be, especially if they're struggling with counts 1. So until Thursday, all we can do is yes, but I don't know for sure. I'm thinking it's all guilty, and I'm really just looking at the definitions and looking at the judges, not the judges, the lawyers looking grim, but they could be looking grim because it's an impartial verdict. Okay, so we really can't tell 100%. You know what I'm saying? We just really can't. And they claim if he gets, hold on. So they claim if he walks free, he's planning to leave the USA. All right. He's going to pack his bags, and they claim that he's going to go to a different country to live. And they said this is according to multiple insiders. It says that Diddy is over the U.S. justice system in the country as a whole. This country doesn't deserve me, he reportedly told his inner circle. So if he gets free, he said he's leaving the USA. Allegedly, we don't know for sure if this is true, but that's what they claim. Okay. And they are reporting that he was looking shaky in court. They say different things in different articles. The other one said he was upright and all that's upbeat and all this other stuff. Now this one said that he was looking shaking in court. Okay, so I don't know. I showed some pictures of, not pictures, but some sketches where he looked like he was, looking worried. Okay. So yeah, he's gonna disappear if he's found not guilty or hung jury or whatever the case is. He said he's leaving. That's what they claim. He's leaving, and he's going to make a full-on disappearance, which I said that, Me and Jermaine was talking about that. We said that if he's found not guilty or hung jury or whatever the case is, we think that Diddy is probably going to leave. At least I would leave, because I mean, people turned their back on him. You know, they didn't support him, you know, or anything. So why be here and just lay low? You know what I'm saying? Get these people and just lay low, because he already got a bunch of money. You know, of course he's going to have that God complex. But I tell you what, you better not go overseas to none of those countries doing anything, because he think this justice system is a trip here. Over there is going to be really a trip. You better be good, regardless of wherever he goes. So then he's looking at Africa, the Middle East, and his idea of buying a private island. So if he goes to any country in Africa, he definitely better make sure that he does not violate anything over there, because their system is not the same as ours, and their jails, prisons are not the same as ours. Trust me. You know, the Middle East, maybe he should go over there where Russell Simmons is. Okay, but still, you still got to follow those laws there, because their prisons and stuff is not like ours. All right, point blank. Have your ass incarcerated, you'll never get out. But yeah, he definitely better leave if he gets off. So we will see how it plays off and plays out. I mean, and I'll be back tonight, you guys, to talk further, a little bit further on Diddy. And I'm going to talk about what 50 Cent, this lady said 50 Cent did and stuff. And we're going to go from there. And then what other topic that I want to discuss, we will do it. He going to go over there and get his ass incarcerated and put the unalive in for real. You know what I'm saying? Shit. These people don't be playing in these foreign countries, okay? You have heard people over there getting arrested, especially women, just for talking too much. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we will see, you know, if he's found not guilty or hung jury or something like that. And he better leave fast too, okay? And that's on everything. But anyway, like I just said, we'll be back later on tonight, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Jermaine. Thanks to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay. We didn't get a verdict yet, but I mean, they do have a partial verdict. But on Thursday, we'll get the full verdict, I guess. All right. And go from there. All right. Y'all have a blessed day, remaining day. And I'll see y'all tonight. Happy and blessed July. New month of July. And again, happy one day to all of my July babies. And 4th of July is coming up in a couple of days. So I hope y'all got some great 4th of July plans. Make sure y'all check out my other videos. I did a video when we went to the beach yesterday, had a little vacay day. So check that out. Check out my latest Dollar Tree YouTube shorts and my other shorts before that. And check out my Country Wayne reaction videos if you watch Country Wayne. And check out all my other videos and stuff like that. Okay, guys? And later on tonight, talk time, a 9-hour talk time is coming up. All right? So until then, thank you, Jermaine. Shades Tube said, have a great remaining rest of your day. And peace out, y'all. Okay, let's go to change this. And I definitely need to change this. Hold on, y'all. Let me do this. Let's go ahead and change. I always got to go look through all this stuff. All right, we are getting ready to go, y'all. Peace out. Let me change all this. Oh, don't forget the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification, share, and leave a comment as well. All right, guys, I forgot to tell you how to do that. And don't forget, if you want to show additional support for this channel, you can do that by doing a super sticker, super chat, a cash app at $ ShadesTube, or you can copy yourself a membership for $4.99. All right? Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Jermaine. Peace out, y'all. Let me go ahead and mute this music and get out of here, people. Let's go. I'm talking on my line. Be quiet. Oh, I got the wrong thing on y'all. This girl be pushing the wrong thing every day. It's up. So all right, y'all. Peace.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit. Vibe 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let game, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. Like you thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. Like you thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony B, for stopping by, hun. I appreciate you. Y'all see y'all tonight and have a good day. Peace out. This is Shay's Tube. I'm out, y'all.